Hi there, I'm Stuart Ralston. I'm chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Paget's Association, and I'd like to welcome you to Paget's Awareness Day 2026. And the focus of the Awareness Day this year is on pain in Paget's disease and the mechanisms. And now today I'm joined by Anne Lambley, who has got Paget's disease. So welcome, Anne.
Hi.
Okay, Anne. Now, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about how you came to be diagnosed with Paget's or how you thought you may be at risk of Paget's disease. Over to you.
Um, my mum has it in her spine, and when she was diagnosed, that was on the back of her brother also, who's got it in his skull. Um, they were referred to the Paget's. I can't think what it was called.
Association?
That's it, the Paget's
Yeah, that's right.
Association
That's us.
Up at Edinburgh. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then she was told to pass on the word
Yeah.
that you were doing a study and that we were to go and get some blood tests to see if we had the gene, which I did, and I have. So then I joined the study, and why would you not?
Thank you very much, Anne. Yeah, I do recall that. And you obviously had the test, you had the scan, and it was quite a long study, actually. I can't remember. Would it have been 2019 when you started, perhaps?
No, it was 2012.
2012, my
Yeah,
goodness.
I did 13 years.
My goodness. I think I'm correct. I'm saying we've met each other a couple of times at the
Yes.
start. You didn't have any symptoms, but I think towards the end, you were experiencing something symptoms, if I'm not wrong, and perhaps you could tell us about those.
Yep. It was some discomfort in my left elbow, which I initially blamed the dog for because she pulls on the lead, but then um, when I'd had some further tests and scans and was informed that there was Paget's in the elbow, it's like, oh, a little light bulb moment. That'd be what it was then.
And I remember vividly when you were up in Edinburgh, I was looking at your scan. You were telling me about the dog, and I was thinking, well, my dog's a bit the same. Anyway, but you did have Paget's disease at the left elbow. And so, based on that, I looked at the treatment group you'd been allocated to in the original study. So, that was a number of years earlier and you'd been allocated to receive the placebo or the so-called dummy infusion. Because just to recall, treat the people in the treatment in the trial got either zoledronic acid or drip for Paget's disease or placebo, and you had placebo. So I remember telling you about the Paget's disease and yeah, what happened then? I think I said to you, well, maybe you could consider going on to the active treatment now, and did you? And what happened? What was your experience with it?
Yes, I had it that very same day while I was up with your good selves in Edinburgh. I had the infusion, and then after the initial feeling a bit fluey, which is entirely normal, it just melted away, and it's been
Wow.
fine since.
Wow, that's a fantastic. That's really good to hear, and it's a yeah. And as you say, you got the flu-like illness, but now the pain is has improved a lot. Um, One thing that I remember you mentioning subsequently, I know that you're a fan of tattoos. You've got a number of tattoos, and you said something that really struck me when you had one of your tattoos. I think it was over that elbow where the Paget's disease was found. So, can you take us through that?
Yeah, sure. So I was having the left arm done at the time. I'd got various ones in elsewhere, and anybody that's had a tattoo will tell you that they are not pain-free at all, but it's a certain level, and you know what to expect. And this was not my first rodeo by any stretch. Um, but when it got to the elbow, the pain was horrendous. It was very sudden. There was no warning it was coming. I went hot, started sweating, went cold, still sweating. The nausea cracked in, and I honestly thought, this is it. I'm going to die. I'm not going to survive this. And then when he moved away from the area, it was just the normal. It was very, very strange.
Okay, that is very fascinating, and I find it very interesting. I'll tell you why, because I was interviewing a couple of researchers, Catherine Berg and Derville Dockrell, as part of the Awareness Day this year, and they are researchers in what's called the PIP study, and that stands for pain and Paget's disease. And what they found is they did a technique that we call quantitative sensory testing, and it's like testing sensation in the skin over bones affected by Paget disease, and then they do what's called a control site, which is another site like the other arm. And very interestingly, what they found was if they did pinprick or vibration or fine touch, there was a big difference in the sensation experienced by people with Paget's disease. So what I'm thinking is that that tattoo experience might be um, an example of that. And I don't know if you realize that, but I thought I'd mention it to you.
Well, I didn't know it at the time, and obviously I've had more since, and they were fine. So it was just that one sight, and it was really, really strange.
For goodness me, that's amazing. Okay, well, it looks like zoledronic acid has both helped your pain and the tattoo experience. Now, um, I really appreciate you telling us your story, because it's helping us find out more about what might cause the pain in Paget's disease. And I just wonder how the dog was. How is he or she in the lead these days? Is it just the same, or are you not suffering so much when the dog's pulling?
She's still an idiot.
Okay, and I'd like to thank you really sincerely for taking the time out of your schedule to speak to me today. I think your experience is really fascinating, and of course, I'm very glad to hear we picked up the disease at an early stage, and in fact, the treatment has improved your symptoms. So thanks once again.
No worries, and you're very welcome.